So here are some issues you may experience with over-the-counter supplements that you buy like from your local drugstore or warehouse. So the form of the nutrient, this is important to know, may be cheap or not be absorbed well by your body. So even though it's written down that you got a certain nutrient, it may not be absorbed, so it's not effective. Very important to know that. Hi everyone, Dr. Partha Nandi. Thank you for joining us. We are live on Tuesday here. I'm looking at some beautiful blue skies. Let us know where you're joining us from. Today, we're talking about gut health and supplements, right? So many of my patients talk about Dr. Nandi. They often come to me with bags of supplements, and I have to give them an idea of, hey, what do we have to say about these supplements? So this one's really close to my heart. So again, we're talking about gut health and we're talking about supplements. Hey, what's the scoop, right? What's the connection? Is there a connection between gut health and supplements and frankly the rest of your life? So talking about that today. We always enjoy when you tell us where you're joining us from, like Christine Sutherland, who just joined us from Port St. Lucie, Florida. She does every week. Tell us where you're joining us from and give us your questions. Really love to get interactions from you. And also, if you could share this with your community, we can really move forward. So today I'll talk about gut health and supplements. I'll talk about gut bacteria and the gut microbiome, what that does for you, and how that affects the rest of your body. I'll talk about vitamins, certain vitamins that your gut microbiome needs, right? What we think about gut microbiome and these bugs, but what is it that they do? And so I'll talk about vitamins and nutrients that it affects, and talk about some research. I'll talk about how you choose a supplement, right? There's so many out there. What are you going to do? I'll talk about my upcoming supplement line we'll be introducing very shortly here, coming up, not too distant in the future. And then if you're taking your supplement, what you should look out for. So we'll jump right into it. So thank you again for joining us. Thank you, Noel, for joining us. Tony Valenti from Ocala, Florida. Lori Nichols from Beaverton, Ontario, Canada. And Noel's from Lake in the Hills, Illinois. I don't know where that is. Is that close to Chicago? I forgot, Noel. You got to remind me. And Laura Probert from Farmington Hills. Joy Arroyo, my pleasure. So let's get right into it, right? Our gut bacteria, those trillions of bugs in your intestinal system regulate many of our bodily functions. We've talked about this. I mean, did you know it can create some vitamins to control your immune system, our brain function, and our weight and metabolism? So imagine having the right bugs can change your weight, can change your metabolism. Again, critical to long-term health, not just what's going to happen today, but in the future. Listen, I think that a lot of the things that we do in modern living would be fine if we did it over 100,000 years, but we've done it over a short period of time. So that's why our choices, our lifestyle choices, have been really hard on our bugs. Standard Western diet. And what is that, right? It's bad fats and bad sugars, right? Processed sugars. And they really rob our bacteria from really amazing nutrients. And all the chemicals from processed foods and the toxins, these all are combined together. It's not just the food, but it's also the toxins that we have in the environment. And what happens? Our guts become damaged. And when we have a diet high in sugar, which is a lot of stuff, I would always tell my kids, every movie we watch, every TV show we watch, there's a bowl of cereal, a bowl of this processed crap with sugar in it. I mean, it's just insane. Like that. Without that, we'd all be dead. It's silly, but this is the training we've been given for decades, right? People grew up saying low fat, low fat, low fat, but then they put a bunch of sugar, and this is what the problem is. So our guts become damaged, and when we don't have a diet high in fiber or prebiotics, when we take the wrong stuff, even with the perfect diet, right? Too many bad things, including this, as a lot of people are talking about, our depleted soils, right? The storage and transportation of our food, genetically altering all of our species, meaning that, genetically modifying it, and increased stress, the stress level when somebody drives by you and gives you that Michigan hello, which is that, they give you the middle finger and they get upset at you, right? And the nutritional demands from that, it's really hard. You really, it's very challenging to get the vitamins and minerals you need from the foods you eat. So sometimes you need more. And that's why so many of you who are watching today and listening today, are take supplements, right? It's startling, the statistics of how many Americans, millions of Americans, take supplements. That's why I thought it was important to talk about this, because we need to really get a handle on this, because people are taking all kinds of stuff. Emerging scientific evidence shows that the importance of nutrients as essential helpers, like by itself, right? These things are not going to be enough, but when you put them together, right, you really can change your microbiology, change your biochemistry. So the analogy is that's the oil that greases the wheels of our metabolism. So the wheels of our metabolism, if you don't have oil, you don't have it starts to stop. It starts to have problems in functioning. So deficiencies, now this is important, right? If you're paying attention, it is important. We have large scale deficiencies: omega-3 fats, vitamin D, folic acid and folate, zinc. Zinc, as many of you know, may be essential for our immune system to work proficiently. Magnesium, iron. I'll go again: omega-3 fats, vitamin D, folate, zinc, magnesium, and iron. All have been extensively documented in government-sponsored research. So many people, I know you'd want to just eat the right products, but with the soil being depleted and not getting the right nutrients from your food, lots of people have to turn to supplements to improve their health, maintain a healthy weight, right? Or treat certain conditions. It's just how it is. So again, lots of times you go to a doctor, you go to one of my colleagues, and supplement is a bad word, but it doesn't really have to be, because we are faced with a nutritional crisis, right? We're not able to get the same nutrient qualities that we used to get, that, the generation before, because we plundered our soil, we plundered our environment, we continue to do so. I mean, just watch any kind of news report, you'll see what's going on with the environment, right? So remember, multivitamins, mineral supplements are the most common type of dietary supplements. There are many kinds, but multivitamins and mineral supplements, most common type. I've taken a multivitamin for years. Collagen, this is important to also understand if you're paying attention. Again, thank you for joining us. If you feel this is valuable, please share this with your community. Super important. Collagen, pre and probiotics, turmeric, and melatonin are amongst the most common supplements used. And this is the research we've done when we introduced the Dr. Nandi line of supplements. We're going to introduce that very shortly, but I wanted to see what was the important. Pre and probiotics are important. Collagen's important. Turmeric, I'm one of these guys who grew up in a country where turmeric is not like some, new food or fad food or something else. It's just what we cook with our foods. Anybody who's listening that's Indian will tell you that we use turmeric all the time in many other cultures. And we know that supplements use increases with age, right? Because people become more aware. To me, the trick is, when you're not 65 or 70, nothing wrong with that. But when you're in your 30s, in your 40s, and you say, okay, you know what? I want to be able to have this great help for a long period of time. That's the time, right? It's not about seeing it right when it's in front of your face, right? When you feel like your mortality is in front of you, it's looking ahead to preserve that health. That's what's important. So again, thank you for joining us. Lots of great comments. I appreciate that. All of you are joining us, and keep on giving the questions and the comments, and really share this with your community. Tell us where you're joining us from too. So let's jump right into it. What effects do vitamins have on the gut microbiome? Gut microbiome, it plays an important role in the maintenance of your health, right? And really the pathogenesis, which means how diseases occur. Diet, super important modulator, or what makes the gut microbiome kind of work and be what it is. There's increasing evidence that nutrients, right, other than just fiber. So we always, and I've talked about this, anybody who've heard me talk about this, prebiotics or fibrous foods are super important, right? Super important. And we now know that other nutrients, right, looked at other important components besides fiber that affected the microbiome. So let's look at the review on vitamins. What happens with vitamins? So we know that environmental factors, diet, it can change what happens in your in your gut, and especially what happens for your gut microbes. However, nutrients and compounds, right, other than dietary fibers, also affect it. So let's use an example like antibiotics and what happens to your gut microbiome when you, to me, shoot like an atomic weapon into your gut, which is what a antibiotic is, and changes your gut microbiome significantly, right? And so that's why I always say, if you have to use them, go ahead, right? But if you don't have to use them, talk to your doctor and say, do I really need the antibiotic? So always be careful with your antibiotics. Remember, micronutrients, other dietary components, right? When you take it in small quantities, such as vitamin, minerals, specific fatty acids are super important. Specific fatty acids, super important. Phytochemicals, and they can change the what happens in your microbiome. And then the microbiome, remember, it can either be modulated through the actions of, we talked about the diet, or indirectly through what's happening in the gut. And so what I mean is that, like, for example, when you shoot an antibiotic through, or have other changes that are toxins to your gut, vitamins are super important, or candidates for this microbiome modulation, or basically changing your microbiome. And vitamins, they represent a huge, diverse type of molecule that has many functions in the body. So fat soluble vitamins, they're absorbed and then they're transported in the body, similar to fat, and are really important in making the cell membrane. Remember, the cell has a membrane that is important, integral to its function. So these fat soluble vitamins are transported in the body like fats are. Water soluble vitamins, this is important to understand. Water soluble vitamins are generally coenzymes, things that work with other foods and nutrients, right, in reactions that can carry like chemical groups like electrons. Remember, we studied in school. And some really have antimicrobial actions, meaning that it can actually affect how bugs are. And vitamin A, vitamin B6, vitamin C, vitamin E have immediate effects on the gut microbiome. And it really changes how the microbiome is. So A, vitamin B6, vitamin C, and vitamin E. Now, vitamins that are cofactors, right, in energy and energy generations, it really is important also in the energy metabolism for bacteria, and can also support certain types of bugs, increasing their prevalence, increasing their biologic functions. So indirect effects, right, of these vitamins include modifying your body's host immune system. It's how your body reacts to an infection. So the microbiome in converse. So we're talking about how vitamins can affect the microbiome or bugs. The microbiome can also produce, right, help to make these vitamins, contributing to the micronutrients, those nutrients that you can't always see, and the stability of the bacteria and the bugs in your intestinal system. So the vitamins, bidirectional, so meaning that it can affect the gut microbiome, but also the gut microbiome can really affect the vitamins that are being produced. Again, Dr. Partha Nandi, I'm here talking about supplements, gut health. Let us know where you're from. Please share this with your community if you think that's worthwhile. Some vitamins, when you provide them in big doses, or when they're delivered to the large intestine, have been shown to be beneficial in modulating the gut microbiome. So when you increase vitamins A, vitamins B2, vitamins D, E, and beta carotene, that's really important when you can deliver this to the large intestine. Also increasing and changing the microbial diversity, which means that the number of bugs you have, having a vast diversity, lots of them, right? It's important also. And we know that, again, vitamin A, B2, B3, vitamin C, and K also increase that, along with vitamin D. So not only are you increasing the amount, but you're increasing the types with vitamin A, B2, B3, C, and K. So there's a reason why a lot of these vitamins contain those. But when you look at your vitamin, make sure they have those. We also know that you can increase short chain fatty acid production, right? And that can happen with vitamin C. We talked about short chain fatty acids and how important they were in our previous live in the barrier between the intestine and the blood. So if you want to prevent leaky gut or help prevent leaky gut so that the toxins don't go through your gut into the blood and start inflammation, well, vitamin C will be important to you. That's really important there to understand. And also other vitamins like vitamin A and vitamin D, they change the gut's immune response, right? So remember, we're talking about, whether it be COVID or monkeypox, we really are super dependent on our immune response. And vitamin A and vitamin D, very important for them to influence the GI tract and GI health. So it appears that vitamins modulate your health in your gut, either through the making fatty acids or with the gut microbiome, as well as the integrity and making sure that you don't have leaky gut. Also, lots of studies have shown that when you take vitamins and supply them directly to large bowel, you can really change what happens with your gut health. So it looks like if you put vitamin B3, increase the amount of certain bugs as well as the diversity. Now, we don't know yet, right, if it will directly affect brain health, but we know that improving gut health also helps cognitive function or brain health. That's a really important interest of mine of research, how the gut affects the brain. So I believe that increasing the diversity and the amount of the bugs can really help that as well. So what about choosing supplements, right? Those of you who are watching and listening and want to talk about, hey, you know what you go about when you choose supplements, right? You know what you're getting when your pharmacist, right, fills your prescription, because hey, this is a prescription drugs. Governments, authorities are looking at it, but over-the-counter supplements are not controlled the same way, right? The FDA, which means the Food and Drug Administration in the United States, does not regulate dietary supplements in the same way that it regulates prescription and over-the-counter drugs. So supplements have not been reviewed for safety or effectiveness before being sold. Really important to understand that. So here are some issues you may experience with over-the-counter supplements that you buy, like from your local drugstore or warehouse. So the form of the nutrient, this is important to know, may be cheap or not be absorbed well by your body. So even though it's written down that you got a certain nutrient, it may not be absorbed, so it's not effective. Very important to know that. The dosage on the label may not match the dosage on the pill, right? It may be also filled with additives, stuff that doesn't help you. And so you may be filled with additives, colors, fillers, even allergens. Some of my patients who have celiac disease or gluten allergy will find that they take a supplement and it's not gluten-free. Very important. So the form of the nutrients may be cheap. The dosage may not match the dosage in the pill. You may have additives, food colors, all kinds of fillers and allergens. The raw materials, especially herbs, right, may not be tested for toxins, such as mercury or lead. And then it may not be consistent from batch to batch. You don't know if you've got mercury or lead. That's a problem. The factory in which these supplements are produced may not follow good manufacturing standards. So you got to look at that. Is this supplement produced in the right place with good standards, right? So you want to have good quality when you have that. And then what if you're taking a supplement? You've chosen a supplement, you're taking it. Make sure the supplement is helpful, right? Make sure that that what you're taking is going to help you. Although, right, multivitamins and mineral supplements are common for adults, important to consider if a supplement has any nutritional benefit, right? Most nutrients you can get from good nutrition. So make sure you get good blood tests. Make sure that your healthcare team gets blood tests to make sure if your vitamin levels are high, low, or adequate. Watch for side effects. Talk to your doctor if you're having symptoms. What are some symptoms? Abdominal pain, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, anything out of the ordinary. Please let them know to see, hey, if the supplements are causing or contributing to these symptoms. Work together with your whole healthcare team to make sure that supplements do not harm your body. Show it to your doctors, right? And when selecting supplements, be savvy. Do your research. Make sure you use trusted sources such as the NIH, the National Institute of Health, Department of Agriculture, and FDA to gather information about supplements. Right? You can also ask us questions. Give us a query, and then get a recommendation from a trusted family member or friend. You can do that, right? But doesn't always mean that the supplement is safe for you. You can get a recommendation, but doesn't mean that something that they recommend could be safe for you. Have they done the research that you need? And also don't really fall for sales pitches, right? If a supplement claims to be 100% safe or works like a prescription, know that that has not been verified by the FDA. You can't, if a supplement says, well, works better than the prescription, nobody's really studied that head to head to really find that out. Supplements cannot claim, right? Cannot claim to cure or prevent disease in marketing materials. And really don't assume natural products are safe. People say natural, holistic, organic. It can put that in there, but it can be deceptive. Doesn't mean just because it's natural doesn't mean that it's always safe, right? So super important there. Remember, and again, for those who've been watching me, gut health is incredibly important, right? Eating healthy is super important. Getting enough pre and probiotics are really important. But we now know that just having fiber is not the only factor in getting good gut health, right? And the good microbiome. You want to also look at the micronutrients and the vitamins. If you're eating the right things, you may need some outside assistance, right? And dietary supplements can be popular. Not every one of them are safe or effective for you, right? Many supplement ingredients can interact with medications and allergies. That's why you want to get the whole healthcare team involved. You want to let your doctor know. You want to let your nurse know. You want to let people know that what you're taking. And many supplement ingredients can even seem to be pure, but may not be the right with your set of medications. Guidance from a trained dietitian, also nutritionist, or a nutritionally oriented physician can also be helpful, and get the products that are right for you. So, we at the Partha Nandi team have been working and trying to get, because often people ask us for recommendations, and sometimes you're not able to give the right recommendation because there are problems with certain supplements. So we've developed a supplement line of our own, and we're releasing it very soon. I wanted to pick products that people feel are useful, such as turmeric, such as we talked about collagen, and supplements that can help the immune system. So it'll be coming out soon, and I'll give you all a kind of an early peek at some of these supplements. I think you'll like it, because we want to make sure that it is the right one for all of us. I want to make sure that if my family takes it, that it's helpful for them, it's safe for them. It's very important. So we're doing the research, making sure the manufacturing is correct, so that we can actually make the changes we need to do. So when I talked about that, to increase the abundance of the microbiome, you need A, B2, D, E, and beta carotene. We want to make sure that's available, right? If we say that we need to increase the diversity, the types of bugs in your intestinal system, want to make sure it's there in some of our supplements. So appreciate that. Let me answer some questions if we have them here. I'll say hello to some of these folks. Trisha from Austin, Texas. Vidya from Trinidad, and then Bose from Nigeria. Thank you. And then Rachel from Dakar, Senegal. Awesome. We're getting it worldwide, right? Everything has sugar in it now. Absolutely. It's so important to understand everything has sugar. And sugar is not a bad word, right? When you look at labels, you want to look at added sugars, right? So if you eat a cherry, it's naturally sweet. It's not a bad thing. But when you add a bunch of sugar to it and you make processed sugar, that's damaging to your body. That damages your microbiome and really enables unhealthy types of bugs to grow and the healthy bugs not to grow. It's always kind of a balance between that. So super important. Let's take a look and see. Okay, let's take a look and see some questions here. Annabelle, thanks for sharing good information. And then let's take a look here. I think somebody asked about why is it important for micronutrients for microbiome and gut health. What happens is that what we understand now is that the whole idea behind vitamins and microbiome goes both ways. So you need certain types of vitamins, and I talked about that. Uh, Vitamins A, B2, E, and beta carotene to be able to get a diversity of microbiomes, right? So lots of different types of microbiome. And then you also need certain multivitamins to increase the amount. So that's why it's important. Conversely, you need the microbiome to be able to create the right type of vitamins. So it goes both ways. When you feed your microbiome the right stuff, you're able to produce the environment for better health. And that's why it's so important to understand that.
Noelle Dodge is on. She had open heart surgery, so be sure to say hello to Noelle in Chicago on Old Royal.
I did.
You did. Okay.
I did. I said hi to Noelle. My wife Callie came in and said, make sure you say hi to Noelle. Noelle's a great friend. She had open heart surgery, and it's so great to hear from you, and you're doing well. And I'll tell you that so much of healing, we talk about surgery and post-surgical healing. So much of that is also dependent on our body's health, right? So the way your body heals, the way your body produces fibers, muscles, nerves are all so dependent on the nutrient availability. So if you're nutrient poor, if you're not getting the density of nutrients you need, you don't really have a fighting chance. That's the whole idea. And Noelle can speak to this, but it's not only moving in the right direction, exercising and having a slim waist, it's the nutrient density. You may appear thin and fantastic, but if you don't have the right nutrient composition, then you're fighting a losing battle. We'll share our link here for the Superfoods Cookbook. We talk about this because so much of the Superfoods Cookbook have all the nutrients that you need that can really help you. So it's food as medicine, and so it's really important to be able to do that. One person asked me, how is it that antibiotics can really change even your vitamins and your nutrient capability? Remember, when you take an antibiotic, right, it can deplete and change your microbiome diversity. When that happens, then remember the nutrients that you have and the way it's being processed, it involves your digestive tract, but also involves the kind of microbiome you have. So when you blast it with antibiotics, not only are you changing the microbiome, you're also changing the way your body takes in nutrients. And when you don't have those nutrients, it can really make it deplete your health and really not make you as healthy as you need to be. So, great questions and great involvement. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody joining us today. Remember, we'll be back again next week with the live, and we'll talk about what's really important to you. And if you have any suggested topics, you let us know. I'm really passionate about gut health, and I think gut health and supplements to me is a great topic, because the fact is how many people take supplements, and when you take it, it's going right in your intestinal tract, and what the direct correlation is. It affects the whole body, but really also affects your gut health. If you have other topics, whether it's gut health related or not, let us know. Until then, remember, make healthy living a part of every day. Namaste. Thanks for joining us. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Partha Nandi. And if you enjoyed that video, you're going to love the next one. It's full of incredible information to help you start your health hero journey.